Hello everyone, this is Saurian Target bringing you an update video regarding the whole COPPA FTC YouTube mess, and I want to start off with something that I hope is going to make a lot of you guys feel a lot better. I am not deleting my YouTube channel. There's been a lot of information come out since I posted my last video announcing that I intended to delete my channel around December 29th or 30th or so, and I want to apologize for any concerns or stress I may have caused on that announcement. I do want to get to some clarifications regarding that video as well as the reasonings for my new change of pace. But first, I want to genuinely, sincerely thank you guys for the amount of support and sympathy and kind words I've received over the past few days. It has been truly eye-opening and humbling just how much this channel means to you guys. I haven't gotten to the comments on that last video because there are just so many, but I have been reading them and I have been floored by the outpouring of kindness you guys have shown me. You know, as life goes on and the channel gets bigger with more negativity seeping in, I almost begin to feel like, I'm just a small dinosaur YouTuber, one of many. There are lots of options out there. People have bigger, better options for dinosaur content if they want it, so my presence here really isn't that impactful. But all of the kindness and sympathy you guys have shown me was genuinely emotional and impactful to me, and I hope to repay that kindness to you guys soon. Thank you guys again, you are all the best. But first, let's talk about what's going on now and clear some things up. So if I'm not deleting my channel, that must mean everything is a-okay and there are no problems and I don't have to worry about anything, right? No. While I am not deleting my channel come January 1st, when this revised law goes into effect, I am still going underground for a while to see how it's going to play out. And while I do appreciate the confidence with which a lot of you new experts in the law told me, Saurian, you're gonna be fine, you're overreacting, nothing is going to happen. You gotta admit, that's a pretty easy thing to say when it's not your channel on the line. And I do want to clarify, I didn't just hear about that news and immediately hop onto the microphone with some rash decision. I'd been sitting on that decision for about a week. I'd come to terms with it. That wasn't an easy video to make, and it wasn't one I just threw together. But after watching some of the new videos that have come out on that topic since I made my last video, and getting a broader understanding of the situation, it's not fine, it's still a mess, and I need to see how it's going to play out in real time before I just drop all my defenses and say, yep, nothing's gonna happen to me, I'm fine. So when January 1st rolls around, I am setting my entire video collection to private for, I don't know, a while, maybe a month or so, just so I can see how this is actually going to affect channels in reality. You guys can say it's not going to affect me all you want, I really do hope you are right, but I personally need to see it in action for myself. I'm still not 100% comfortable with just setting my videos to private because YouTube's copyright bots can still find my videos while they're still processing before they're even uploaded. But I feel this is a nice, cautious compromise because this whole thing still feels like a huge mess just waiting to happen. So, big question, what got me to change my tune? Also, just to clarify, I'm not a lawyer, this is not legal advice, I'm just doing what I feel most comfortable with, and you guys should too. Well, like I said, there have been a few new videos on this topic come out since I posted mine, and I really do appreciate all of the videos on this topic that you guys have sent my way. Even if you think I might have already seen a video that you found, if it's new on the topic of COPPA and the FTC and all this, keep them coming, I'll watch them. A lot of you guys sent me Legal Eagle's video on the subject, and I'll be honest, that video did not reassure me in the slightest. As well made and professional as it was, it basically took him an hour to just expand upon what I'd already heard about this law, only to conclude with, so this might not happen, but also it might. Not very comforting. The video that really caught my attention was actually Creekcrafts, who actually met with a couple of members of the FTC to ask questions and clear things up. And of course, links to all of these videos are in the description, go watch them for yourselves. There was a bit of good news in that video and a bit of bad news in that video. Basically, just to paraphrase, summarize again, go watch the actual videos. He said the FTC is aware of the issues this is creating. They acknowledge general or mixed audience content. They are not going after edge cases or, maybe this counts cases where it's not certain what the intent of the channel is. It has to be a clear-cut violation of COPPA. The context of the video does matter, and those big fines I was so worried about are not going to bankrupt creators. There are actually amendments in place to prevent that. This is all pretty good stuff. However, with all this new clarification, there's more light shed on the not so good stuff. So in regard to fines, the FTC said they will take a channel or company's size into consideration first. The fine will hurt, but it won't be enough that you can't keep making YouTube videos. So this kind of rubbed me the wrong way, I guess. If the goal is to stop those who are abusing the system and violating COPPA with ill intent from making YouTube videos, then why don't the fines hurt them to that point? What is the point of the fines? They seem more like they're for annoyance than a deterrent. It's like if it's not enough to stop the bad guys, but enough to dent the smaller channels that are still violating COPPA without ill intent, what's the point? I don't know, that whole part just kind of didn't sit well with me. In regard to gaming channels, game ratings don't matter. I can't use the fact that the Carnivores games are rated T for teen as a not kid-friendly excuse. Hard, M-rated mature games are exclusively not kid-friendly. Everything else can fall into the for kids category. And that unfortunately translates to my channel's listing as a whole as well. Mixed and general audience stuff is technically a subset of for kids. Not for kids is exclusively mature content. Although I think YouTube tweeted about this fairly recently in a reply that said mixed content could be not for kids. I don't know, it's still confusing, and that's where the root of this issue and my issues with this lie. YouTube has, to no one's surprise, handled this about as poorly as anyone could have, and the way they've implemented this whole system of, for kids, not for kids, it's on them. The FTC has no say in how YouTube implements these updates. In fact, I believe the FTC said that the way YouTube went about this situation with this for kids, not for kids, is probably not the best way they could have done it. YouTube just telling us that if we're not sure where our channels fall to get a lawyer is not the best advice. But the FTC doesn't control YouTube's actions here. That's on YouTube. So I think YouTube needs to implement a mixed or general audiences setting. I don't know if that's the best way to go about it, but I feel that that is the best way to protect channels like mine with the information I have. My channel is gray, it's in the gray area, and the two options I've been given are black or white. If YouTube would implement a mixed or general audiences option, I personally feel that would fix this issue, at least alleviate it to a degree where I felt more comfortable with it. And if they do implement that, I will hop back on here in a heartbeat, but I still need to wait and see how this is going to go. So all this has basically clarified that, yeah, we're all still kinda screwed because it's still so vague and unclear as to what's going to happen and how and whatnot. But we've at least now shifted the pointed fingers of blame from the FTC to YouTube for being worthless in helping creators out with this. There's also another video that I found extremely helpful that I'll link below by Rakita Law, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, that goes way more in depth with the actual law terminology and intent in half the time it took legal. Basically, from what I understand, the law itself is concerned with data collection, not the content being shown, which already just shows how at odds and out of touch the FTC is with themselves, this law, and the current internet YouTube landscape. This law is intended to punish website owners, the data collectors, the people in control of and benefiting from the data collection, which is in violation of COPPA. And that's not us. That's not content creators. That's YouTube. We, content creators, don't own the website. We can't edit or control it or modify it. We can't control YouTube. We don't get to see the data that YouTube collects. So the fact that content creators have been roped into this mess at all is fundamentally wrong. So if a channel gets fined and has to go to court to appeal, the only silver lining is that, again, to the best of my limited understanding of the law, again, I'm not a lawyer, we're completely innocent and shouldn't even have to be there in the first place. And to summarize, that's the big problem and concern that I'm seeing here and why I'm still going to be in hiding when this thing launches. The FTC doesn't even understand how YouTube works. In fact, in one of Creekcraft's other videos on this topic, I did some binging on his videos on this topic, I believe he mentioned that the FTC kept referring to YouTube channels as websites and content creators as website owners or something. Like, we own this website and are able to control it, modify it, and see the data it collects. And that's flat out wrong. So yeah, realistically, the FTC can't fine all these channels and they can't implement the punishments like we thought they were going to, but from the way it sounds, the FTC doesn't even know that they can't do that. And when this thing first lands in January, it just sounds like, in the FTC's ignorance of how YouTube operates and YouTube's unwillingness to help out, it's just going to be a dumpster fire of trial and error and fines and pushback. And that's what I don't want to be involved with. And again, that might not happen. I really hope it doesn't. But just like almost every one of these COPPA videos concludes by saying, it could happen. It honestly sounds like the FTC doesn't even know what they're about to get into, and YouTube is not helping at all. And that's what concerns me the most here, the uncertainty of this whole situation. At the end of the day, we don't know what's going to happen. No one does. There's little to no proper communication about this from the people in charge, and we're the ones having to deal with it when we shouldn't even be here in the first place. That's why I feel the need to step back and just see how this plays out, because we just don't know. It's also a little concerning that if these are the answers we've been looking for and YouTube is saved, no one's talking about this. Like, if this is it, if this is the salvation of YouTube from Armageddon, this is a huge deal to a lot of YouTubers. And why is no one talking about these videos, these answers that we have? I don't know. Get out there, guys. Spread these videos around. Let people know what's going on. If these are the answers we've been looking for, then people need to know. So, very quickly to wrap up, what's the status of this channel, Saurian Target's channel, going forward now? Well, like I said, I'm sticking to my original plan, just with a less lethal finale. I'm going to get you guys that last mod showcase and the final thank you video. I might just tack it onto the end of the mod showcase if I'm getting, close to crunch time. Then on December 30th, I'm setting all of my videos to private, and we're just going to wait this out, see what happens. And again, even if I did have to delete my videos, I still have the original files for them, so all I'd have to do is re-upload them. If this whole shebang turns out to be nothing, which I hope it does, I'll be back online immediately. But I still think YouTube needs to implement a general audiences setting. That, aside from some more clarification on YouTube's part or an official statement or, something from someone, that's what's really going to get me to give into this thing. YouTube has to do better on its part to assist channels like mine. So if we get that option, we'll be back up and running as soon as possible. But until then, we're just going to take it slow, play it by ear, and wait and see. And of course, I will keep you guys updated on everything as soon as I know it. Now, for full transparency's sake, I did take down my last video regarding this topic just because it's now outdated, and I want you guys to be informed with the most up-to-date information regarding the channel. I don't want someone to find that video thinking I'm still ending my channel and then have them miss this one for whatever reason. But I still want to have an up-to-date video on this topic here on the channel so people will keep talking about this issue and spreading awareness because it needs to be talked about. Sure, at the end of the day, my decision isn't as lethal as it was last week, but it's still extremely cautious. Because as confident as some of you guys might be that this is nothing, and again, I hope you are right, I have to see it implemented for myself to know whether or not I feel safe and comfortable with it. Because let's be real, this whole situation, the way this is being implemented, is objectively wrong. Maybe it's not as bad as we thought, but we shouldn't even have to be in this situation in the first place. Content creators are not babysitters. We should not be held responsible for what other people's kids watch. Which, again, the issue of this law is data collection, not content, which, again, it's all so screwed up and convoluted. And we certainly should not be punished for YouTube's actions. YouTube's at fault here, and they threw us under the bus, so we need help on their end. You know, in a way, I think this little break will be good for me. My channel is in this weird position where it's not large enough to be financially justifiable for the effort I put into it, but it is large enough that people do expect content from it. I mean, I think based on the comments I get sometimes, I still think people think this is my full-time job, and it's not. It's like having 2 jobs and only getting paid for one, and honestly, it gets rather exhausting. I love it, but it is taxing. So if nothing else, I do think taking this little break will be good for my mental health and creativity going forward. So that's my 2 cents on the matter. This is still a ridiculous mess, but I hope this video has helped you guys feel better. It's helped me feel better. And thank you all again for all of the feedback and comments you've sent my way. Please do keep it coming. If you find any new information, send it my way. I'm taking it all in as quickly and effectively as I can process it. And just remember, like, I know the last video seemed like super lethal and doom and gloom, but I'm not dying. We'll all still be here in some form or fashion, and we will get through this together. Thank you guys again. You are all the best. I love you all, and I will see you guys in our next mod showcase.